Sci-fi, you know.
You regret it.
You know, I cried also after. But one thing about me, that's different is that after a hiding, I would always sit you down and explain why you got that hiding. Correct?
True.
Yeah. So that was different from me. Me growing up, I would get it and still be like, wow.
It's why millions or so?
I'm like, I'm stressed. Let me go play. And I didn't switch off the iron.
Yo!
And the iron fell flat.
Which is about the iron not being switched off and strata.
By the time I got home, I heard my mom scream my name and I knew really. And I went home and yeah, the iron was literally, so we had a mat in the room. Yeah, I grabbed, the print was there. Like, no, I got the hiding. I got the hiding, hey. I got the hiding, good. Kill me.
Molweni.
Molondombo. Asimuhle.
Ndiyabulela, mama.
Oh, you're gorgeous. Hello, everybody. Good day.
Dumelang, mommies.
Hello, kiddos.
Welcome to the Love Language with Mama and Mumu, the Heritage Edition.
I'm Mom.
And I'm Mumu.
Yes, gal. Heritage Edition. So how do you connect to the Xhosa Nation?
I am Gaz Galuko.
Okay, let me hook you up. Let me plug you. So my aunt, Rachad, yeah, was married into a Xhosa in Lesotho because it was Papa's only sister. So Rachad, hey, one. She was married. Her gauges, which are Xhosa. So that's the connection right there.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so shout out to the Gauges family. We see you, we honor you today. We love you. Thank you for loving my aunt. And yeah.
And to our subscribers, our daily peoples, Kaune.
Shout out to you, little Kaune. Thank you for being such a big fan. Matapelo. Thank you for your support. You're one of the first people to always watch. Thank you.
My friends from school. My girlfriend.
Yeah, Manini, we see you.
Zwelihle.
We see you. Yeah, everybody, friends, family who have really stepped in to support us. To say keep going. Auntie Jabu, Ndlovu, we see you. Thank you. For your support and love.
We really appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Des, we see you. Thank you. Yeah, my closest people, we see you. Thank you for showing us love and for finding inspiration in what it is that we're doing here. Thank you.
So, Mama, you remember in I think it was episode 2 or 1, I had said that I feel like the way you discipline my sister is quite different to how you disciplined me when I was her age. Why is it different?
Well, remember I said that in the beginning of parenthood, right, the only way I could parent is based on how I was parented. And yeah, so that's the basis of what was going on and how it is that my parenting style, and that's why it's changed over time, because I've grown into my position as a mom. I'm more confident in the role than I was then, I think. But yeah. So your early upbringing is not too far off from how I was raised.
How were you raised? Well disciplined.
Yeah. Yeah, Corporal Punishment was the one. It was the one. It was the one. And it worked.
Oh, Mama, I remember this other day. Story time. Remember this other day, smaller farm, right? Then there was the school across, and I had a group of friends, right? I think I was home alone. Like a grade R.
You were with your cousins, I think.
No, they weren't here.
Oh, is it?
I still feel like my police at the statement. Okay, I went there, and then there's this older girl to me. Tumi was older than I think most of us. And I'm like, how can school girls you go to school with this? Your girl didn't but she changed. And
no,
she
girl,
went.
you were still in your pajamas when I got there.
Wait, was I?
Yes.
Okay. And then I went, guys, got to sing. I was so mad out. My mom's told me, oh, I deal with. I ran. And anyway, I'm not going to stop at there. There was still a part 2 because I'm so happy.
Two sides of the story. My side. So, what had happened was, I come from work, right? And I look for you. So, remember small farm, we lived in what we let's call them complexes.
Yes.
We call them, but people from small farm,
You know.
So I looked for you, and there were, like, I literally felt like knocking at every door to ask. And then I just felt like, I was losing my mind. So I went around, I looked for you. Like, I think 2 hours later, I see you, Lishla. You are in your pajamas. You are dirty. You are Martha.
I was just a girl.
Yeah. And I was like, there was a relief. After.
I was not at least 2 days.
No, but you understand, home. It's the frustration of this is not something you would usually do. Like, every time you go anywhere, we'd know where you are. So I'm coming back from work, and how are you? You're just like Muzwinking, Skolong, anything could have happened. And yeah. Sci-fi, you know.
You regretted.
I cried also after. But one thing about me, that's different, is that after a hiding, I would always sit you down and explain why you got that hiding. Correct?
True.
Yeah. So that was different from me. Me growing up, I would get it and still be like, wow.
It's why?
Why?
Millions or so.
So my story time. So I think I was in grade 2 or 3 at the most. So I went to a primary school that required transport for me to get there. So the transport was a van. So we'd be all chucked in the van. It was nice, no worries. So one day we are given charts at school for a project, right? And we're given these charts. We need to do some or other thing on the chart and bring it back to school for the project. I know. I get into my chart. I get into the van. Excuse me. I get into the van with my chart. In the van, kumnandi man, kumnandi. Kuyadlaliwa. By the time I got off the van, my chart was a mess. So I got home. There was nobody home. There was no one home. Got the key, opened the door. I went for the iron. I think this chart just needs ironing. So I take the iron. I plug the iron. But as I start ironing my chart, it's turning brown, girl. Brown. And I'm like, okay. plan B. I can't even remember what plan B was, but I decided at the end, I'm too stressed. I'm gonna go play, which was also not allowed when I was growing up.
To play during the week.
Yes, it's homework time, it's reading time, you do what you need to do. I'm like, I'm stressed, let me go play. And I didn't switch off the iron.
Yo!
And the iron fell flat.
Which is the iron not being switched off and strata.
Well, by the time I got home, I heard my mom scream my name and I knew really. And I went home and yeah, the iron was literally, so we had a mat in the room. Yeah, I grabbed, yeah, the print was there. Like, yo, I got the hiding. I got the hiding. Hey, I got the hiding. Google killed me. Yeah. Another thing is, Papa never used to. He's never laid a hand on me, but I feared that man with my life. You know, there was God in him. Yo. Why? Because he but when things where you were really, really wrong, he would call you and say, so you, that day doesn't exist, but it plays in your imagination. No. So you step very carefully. Yeah. So that's how I was raised. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for, for getting woken up in the morning, and before the weekend, the bathroom is to be clean.
Dishes must
exactly. All of that, and then you can go play, and you can't be gone for too long. You must go and clock if everything is still fine. People are still smiling. Okay, go back. Then you come back. It taught you a certain sense of responsibility, knowing that you can't just disappear the whole day and then come back at 5 and they've never seen you. So if you keep clocking in and out, even if you end up playing a little later, until a little later, they would have seen at some point usile game le hot yamatini or ngusha, and they're like, oh, by the way, you're here, Shaba. You're like, no, you understand? Yeah. And yeah, those were good days, man. Those were really, really good days. We got it, but we got love as well. We didn't have any technology. So Strata was the one. Nidiwa, I never how to say watch like machili, and those actually were skills and exercise and fun, because also there were dynamics where you need to be in teams, and we would make sure that you're not in the same team as your best friend. So you understand, it helped you. It gave you social skills. Yeah, it gave you social skills of you can just be in a team with people who aren't necessarily your best friends, but
you can make it work.
Yeah, you make it work, and what you are, and and then when is we would throw each other with the ball, and if it hits too hard, then you're gonna make sure that person will hit you too hard with that test. There were games where one would go home, steal a potato, another one and then we go to the field, and we take empty cans and then we get paper, and one must bring a match from their home. We start their fire, and we eat the most gross things. What you shooting? And come back home. Yeah, but you never knew when you were in trouble. Meaning they're like, "Oh, guy, why unkamusi?" And you're like, "Oh my god." Those were fun. Those modeled us. Those. The other thing is, every parent was your parent, right? So corporal punishment did not only come from your mom. Yeah, if every mom was your mom. Like, if by any chance you guys get seen that person is not gonna go report you to your mom and come back. No, they're gonna deal with you proper. And then you go home and tell your mom, what were you doing there? To get yes. So you keep quiet, you say, okay, yeah, mom, okay, thank you. I'm gonna tell my mom I got a beating from the mother 2 houses away because there's Kanga. But look, Kanga was very childlike. To say,
Okay, so how would you discipline your own child differently from how you were disciplined?
There's a balance. There's no way I'm totally letting go of how I was disciplined.
I get trauma.
No, it's not trauma. I'm not letting go of it because I've seen it work. I will perhaps do it differently in that on the day where you get it from me, you will understand why. Meaning, I will also sort of make you understand where it's from a loving place and not a. It's as a parent, one of your God-given duties is to protect your child, and sometimes you need to protect them even from themselves. Do you understand that? Yeah, so sometimes talking nicely, gently, please don't do that, it doesn't work. Sometimes you really, really need to put your foot down and say, it stops here. Get back station. And then make them understand why and how and what it is. What's the main purpose of the little bit of suffering that had to happen?
I've suffered. I've suffered.
Oh my word. But look at you. You were very naughty. You think your sister is naughty. You are very naughty.
Mama, she does the things that I call naughtiness now.
You were naughty. You know, there's a day where my car seats were so full of lipstick. You had just went wild with lipstick on my car.
Oh my God, you are going to a funeral. Super glue. Yo, I can't even remember what happened after that. Yo.
Right? You were naughty. You were naughty. And yeah, there was a balance of gentle, because you are naturally a and you cry easily. Yeah. So unlike your sister is feisty. Like, you can tell her 2-3 things and she'll be like, are we done? And you went. But also with a child like that, you realize is not going to work. You need to make her understand, I do not like you doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then when she does it again, you remind her. And there must be consequences. Just because Asituba doesn't mean there aren't other consequences. There are ways to then make a person feel. And for example, your sister loves attention. So one of the ways is to just like
ignore her.
Yeah. Like, not give her. She will then come say, Mama, sorry. Sorry for whatever. Yeah. She's not one as feisty as she is. She's not one. Wow, shapu amhle.
So I was one of the
No, I'm not such shapu amhle, babes. I say no. I kahana. You know, one day you will thank me.
I actually do it.
Shall we get one last one for the road? Yeah, no. Lina, you know, growing up, I used to think, Corey, these parents even love me. The way it really makes me. Mine were from mama. Papa would be my advocate. Like when Shrubila I would run to him, but he'd also want to understand what is it that you have done. Yeah. And then he'll be like, oh, he'll be the mediator. But mama used to give it to me. And she tells me stories of how she me and us with the kitchening. And we love you. Me and us with the kitchening. Mama says, ha anahla atowa base unatlula le gate, and if anything is not done, she says her brother will then anke dikotlole. And I'm not gazinking, they didn't have disinki kaskotolo, and then go shove them under his bed, and she would then realize Skotolo is missing. So her mom would realize Skotolo is missing, so mama would then
get the blame.
Yeah, and she says Kitlamata from Annie's house to her mother's house, which is your great grandmother. So I think she turned out okay. I turned out alright. She's very strict. Oh, and then I'm a little less strict, but very firm. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it must take a look for you to get it. Because if we are during the people, okay, here's another story. No, please. Let me tell. So, one thing about you, and this is the thing about kids, they will study you and be manipulative. So, one thing you had.
You're fixing it.
Oh, okay.
Fix it here. You can continue. You can continue speaking. It's a podcast.
Okay, thank you. You see, guys.
Fix it on the other side. Fix it on the other side. Yes. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay. So, another story. I was saying that kids can be so manipulative. One thing I think you had studied about me is that I'm very shy around people and I don't like standing out. So you would wait until we are around people to start your mischievous ways. So let's say you've been wanting something, but by Baba Corner you'll be like, and then I'll just end up giving it to you. Whether it's sweet at night, whether it's something that you're not supposed to have at the time where you're asking for it, I would end up giving it to you. So this one time I'm like, no, you know what? So one day we are in cliques, and you start crying for like a ridiculous amount. Like I'm like, why would you want the sweet? No, you started screaming, and because you knew that if you had these tantrums during the people, I will oblige. At that day, I was like, this is good day. She's gonna let. I gave it to you in clicks. People have. I'm like, hey, this is my child. This is my child. Focus on yours. Hey. And you were so stunned. Okay, how is it that this trick didn't work for me? And that was the last one. Are you rolling your eyes at me?
No, I'm not you did.
Yeah, but that is to say, as long as it's done with love, then and considerably, and ultimately my thing is when you do give corporal punishment, which is apparently taboo these days, I don't know why, but on the days that you do, make your child understand
why you did it.
Yeah, it's from a place of love. It's from a place of wanting to protect you. Here are the dangers of what you've done, and don't do it. The moral of the story is don't do it again.
Okay, how would you say you were disciplined at school?
So I remember at primary school I was pretty much a loner. Had a few friends, and also I went to a school that there were not a lot of black people. So if there was one in another grade, and we'd sort of come together. So that went well. I remember, but one day there was Mr. Saleh. I had whispered something like I think it was during an exam, and I asked somebody to borrow me an eraser. I just felt smacks on my back. I was like, oh. But that was the maths teacher. I think I was in grade 4. I remember running into him. There was an event in my high school, and I ran into Mr. Sally at my high school. Oh, did I not jump for joy in seeing him, that he was still alive. He was like, teaching is not the same. The kids are not the same. And I was so thankful. Because from that day, I didn't get into trouble at school. Yeah, and going into high school, with my parents being in the
educational field.
Yeah, they set me down. Papa, in fact, set me down and was like, if I get a call from school, there's no your side of the story. I'm taking whatever I'm told and I'm running with it. And he said it with such certainty that I knew that so yeah, that made me because they knew the type of challenges they were coming across. The culture of disrespectful children had already started at that time, but it was not to the level it is now, where you have kids throwing equipment at the teachers.
But you also kind of raising me with that thing, if you're cold. So every time you call me, like, why am I cold at school? I'm like, why is you cold at school?
Yeah, so they need to fix that thing at your school where, because you share a name with a particular child, that child is, I'm getting these messages and I'm going mad while I'm at work to say, why are you getting, and meantime it's not you, and every time I must get a teacher, principal, somebody in the thing, because every time you say it's not me, I want confirmation to say what's going on. And now your teachers must say, no, we mixed up the names. It's not cool.
But you don't trust me.
It's not that I don't trust you, but when the school says we have a problem with your child, unfortunately, you need to give it attention and then find out what's going on. But you really need to. I can't be like, I know that angel of mine. Never. I need to hear them out. It's not a matter of not trusting you.
But I feel like that statement was so unfair.
What?
Where whatever happens, I am guilty.
Hey, take me through school, girl.
No, but sometimes, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's the teacher.
It's never the teacher.
Really?
It's never the teacher. If we go on that mentality, it will always be the teacher. No, it's never the teacher. You make it work. With whatever teacher you've got. If you need extra lessons, you then reach out and say, hey, it's not working in this field. I'm struggling because I'm not clever. And you will go places and do things and be so thankful.
For it not being the teacher. I tried it,
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, the Lord has spoken. Let the church say amen. Guys, corporal punishment is part of the laws that God said. First of all, let all things be done in order and decency. Who is to determine that order? Who is to determine that decency? The parent. The parent. There are times where I was like, me, I'm adopted. There's no way. There's no way. These people don't love me. But today, I thank them. I thank them because, yeah, they did the most in raising me. Very strict. They still are. I'm like, guys, I'm an adult. Do you realize?
Your mom.
Yeah, but I'm so grateful. I am so grateful.
Okay, what's one thing you do differently
In raising
as to how they raised you or disciplined?
do differently. I don't know. I know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're not graduates, but I don't know. I think where I have needed to be stern, I've been stern. And when I'm stern, people see us laughing. They don't know. When I'm stern, it's, behind the scenes. But when I needed to be gentle, when you are in your mood, and I realize, okay, it might be, I ask, why are you moody? And you say, I don't know, or this, that. I don't then say, what did I, moody? No, I give you your space. But where it affects maybe your sister, or it affects the energy in the house, I'll come to you and say, you know? So I try and strike a balance. There's no such thing as a a perfect parent. I'm not claiming to be doing it perfectly, but I don't know what I would do differently. What would you have me do differently?
I don't know. I think I can say it when I'm in the situation. But now, let's just all be jolly and laughter.
Yeah, but you know, you can always.
Yeah, I think this is a like
But that's the point. It's not letswalo, and that's a very serious. I want to say accusation, but that's a very serious reality because I remember somebody saying, the way my parents were so strict, I actually have anxiety problems. There's that where your parents were so strict that it affects your confidence, it affects your
social life,
your you just generally grow so anxious because of this need to be perfect all the time. And then there's the strictness where a lot of people are like, my parents were so strict, but I appreciate it. So I guess you must also be able to read your own child to see how far
strict you can be.
Yeah. But also the reason we are meant to be strict parents, I said, is to protect you against the world and sometimes against yourself. But not in a way that damages you. Not in a way that makes you feel less human. And that's why the communication element is always important, so that reasonably without killing that person. But they sit down and they're like, okay, so Kishapu 1, 2, 3, and I've learned, and we keep it moving. But also, the kids where they're like, that's when you know it's been overdone. Let me know okay, what if is it coming, is it not coming, Yeah. So the point of that, going back to your point, is it must remain with you, because one day I will not be here around. I will not be around. And you need to know, for example, Papa was saying the other day, he lives alone, but there are certain things he doesn't do, even in his own house.
Because of how he was
raised. His mom is not alive to say, and it's his house, he can do whatever. there are those values that we are trying to get instilled in you, that you don't have to think twice. So that when you do get yourself in situations, and you will, life is something else, you must be able to say, angalilo ma, angalila. Yeah. She wouldn't be proud of seeing what I'm doing, and it must give you that
thing, man.
That thing, good. What am I doing? It's sort of a life compass. It'll help you in the long run. As long as you know I love you.
Hey.
I do.
I love Mom.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm grateful, man. Sure, I'm so grateful. There were times, TD Jakes was the Dr. Phil. I'm not sure, but there's a time I heard a quote, and I was still young. Okay, let your child rather dislike you now in this moment and love you for the rest of their lives. They love you now
and dislike you
and dislike you for the rest of their lives, because you just didn't give me the values that I need to survive in this world without you. And that's the point, to survive without me. Because even if I live till 90, there's a time where the umbilical cord is not here anymore. It's just through what I've taught you. It's through what I've given you. To say, if I didn't teach you, life would. And once life does, there's no going back. The lessons that life will teach you, they come much harsher than Tubanyana Yatu means.
What's one thing you'd like me to do differently as a daughter?
Like for you to do differently in terms of discipline?
Yeah.
I think you're a very disciplined child. You are, that naughtiness of when you were growing up just evaporated. You were,
I think I'm glad I was naughty then than now.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're perfect now. Now I just need you to just be more rooted in knowing who you are, because you're entering a very vital age. Next year you're turning 16.
Mama, you didn't have to tell them my age.
She's 15.
Now that we are here.
Yeah, there's no reason to be shy about how old you are. You are loved.
It's confidential.
It's not. It's not.
Okay. Yes.
It's really not, because, I'm turning 37 and I'm embracing it. So you're entering a very vital age that you will need to make seriously sober decisions. And some of them I won't be able to influence because I won't be there. You will be offered things, you will be offered a way of life that I didn't teach you behind my back. I need to know that you are rooted in who you are. You are rooted in everything I've taught you. You are rooted in... Yeah, because the world is not so kind. It's not as kind as when I was turning 16. You could make mistakes and recover from them now. It could be detrimental for the rest of your life, depending on what that mistake is. Decision making in my presence or absence. So crucial. Kubalulekile.
I will take decisions that I think benefit me in a good way and in the way I was taught.
Today and in the long run, because there are decisions that hurt you today but benefit you for the rest of your life, and there are decisions similar to today and they harm you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And we are at an age where corporal punishment will not work. So
I
if
think
we
it
sang
will
good,
work. I think it would work. It's a
mm-mm, you are at an age where physically you are so I wouldn't I think we are past that. It served its purpose when it did, but we are past it. We are at a point where you need to hear me or you will feel it.
So what do you think is the best way to discipline a teenager? Must I say myself?
To talk honestly. And this thing that it doesn't start, it doesn't start at teenagehood. It starts. There's an age when how Camille, I know I get criticized by this, but outside. Camille, I go like 8 or you, Mama go. And there's an age your sister is at, or 6, 7, you know. And then there's an age more atamilang ahopule, so that's where you are. And Huntaba is not a solution anymore. The solution is we need to talk. What are you facing? What are your peers saying about boys? What are you guys doing? What are you up to in my absence? So that because Jala household Taba at that age, you'll be doing a lot of things behind my back, things that we wouldn't have discussed, things that you will only hear from people who think they know because they've experienced it. And then when I hit when it's a different purpose and it ruins your life. So yeah, I think the foundation so from a very young age is important because there are times where period, and then there are times where and a confidant and a friend with boundaries. You are sitarelo in that if for example if something God forbid was to happen today and you are molested or harmed in any way, you must be able to come and sit me down and say, Ma, hey, either and then this person took it too far, or I was dragged from where I was. We must be able to have that conversation, and you must have the confidence to say, even in my strictness, even in my rules, I will hear you out and I will support you and guide you.
What do you think is one thing parents don't do for their children to be open with them?
I think we maintain tabua for too long. And then when I know taba forever, more the transition is from ho taba to ho hloka, ho hlompha, right? There's that transition. So if for example you abused one, umushapa every day, umuhlorisa every day, ko umuhlorisa period. One doesn't transition into from hotaba to hlompha no hloka. It then becomes a different story. It becomes a different thing. But if you did it from the beginning with reason, with love, with teachings, then the transition does happen. It happens gradually. It happens with conversations, but there's a transition that then happens. And then there's another transition where in your 30s, I will just be a counselor, I will be a guider, I will not be telling you what to do. You will then call me and say, hey Ma, this is the situation, what do you think? That is a beautiful transition into the third level, according to me. So Kudiso right from the beginning is crucial. Maybe because they are a single parent, they try and overcompensate, or because wow, and now So yeah, now my rules, my children, and that has worked. And that does not mean when other parents chat, I don't learn from them. I don't. But yeah, and if Nyaka next door, Akatola, your little sister, Akang, Amukinya, Tuba, within reason, with love and kindness, I will not go to Lotikisa Neo. I will then ask her, Unweza. Kana nema mang o shapa because Unweza. My rules, my children. It doesn't mean that other people can influence my children or guard them. But I'm saying, if I'm saying it's okay within reason, then another person can then apply a different thing for their child. But no, I believe it takes a community. It has taken a community to raise both of you. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And so to answer your initial question, I don't think there's anything you need to do differently. It's just a wisdom that needs to now grow from all my teachings into guiding you from now and forever. And some of that will then be poured into your children and their children and their children. In future, in the far distant...
maybe the next life as well.
It saddens me that you say you don't want children, but it's a conversation for another day. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the joys and the downs and lows and highs and midpoints of parenting. There's no manual to it, and it is only fair for a parent to do what is right for them, but to do really stick to what is right and not societal norms. Sometimes it doesn't. For me, that's my opinion, and I stick by it fundamentally.
Okay, so guys, Limutile strict mom. I hope one day I'll get to watch this and see what Mama was talking about. I hope to learn from this specific episode as well. And yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Oh, if I didn't find. Okay guys, this is the end. Please subscribe, please like. And again, I'll tata a subscription. Talk about subscribing.
Please.
Hey, another subscription, the likes, we see the comments. We really appreciate the love in the comment section on TikTok. We are going quite well on TikTok. YouTube.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you, kiddos. Thank you, mommies. Happy to hear from you. Happy to continue with conversations with you in the comment sections and so on. Please do subscribe, as Ohatule said. This will help us grow. You saw we're fixing there's cameras, there's the whole thing. So your subscriptions will really help in getting us forward. It's free, guys. You just click and get it done. Done and over with. So we love you. We care. Thank you for watching this. Mwah, mwah. Love language.